This is Joe Hardwick with the Indiana Construction Information Network, once again going behind the scenes of the Indiana construction industry with another exciting episode of Eye on Construction. This morning we're in Jeffersonville, Indiana, talking with resident Michael Moore. Mike, could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've lived in Clark County my whole life, mostly in Jeffersonville, and I own Jerry's Restaurant here on 10th Street, and I'm a county commissioner.
Okay. Are you aware of the residents of the Jefferson Court mobile home community and their struggles with the asphalt plant being next door to them?
Yeah, I'm just made aware of the situation out there probably a little better than a year ago, and a lot of upset, angry residents who are looking for some help from the city, and they don't seem to be able to be getting any help there.
Is there anything as one of the county commissioners that you have done or that you can do to help these residents?
Well, we discovered several months back, I guess the city of Jeff had planned on using some county money to build a bridge for this road they're wanting to construct, and when I discovered that, I actually brought that up for a vote with the commissioners to not to spend any of the county's money to build this bridge, and that was unanimously passed to stop. The construction of this road needs to stop. There's enough damage that's already been done out there. The trees that have been destroyed, you're not going to replace, but yet there's still things you could do to try and put a buffer back there. I know they have built a berm, but let's get some big trees planted back in there. Let's try and do as much as we can, and let's stop the construction of this road. Nobody wants this road built, and to destroy the trees and use this wetland as a way to construct this road. It's time that somebody stood up to the administration here and said, enough is enough. The people around here don't want this road. We don't need to be spending tax dollars to put a road in for a private company, and that's exactly what's going on out there right now.
He was talking about trees being destroyed. I mean, why were these trees destroyed, and who destroyed them?
As my understanding, I don't know if the city of Jeff paid for those trees to be torn down, but I believe the city of Jeff was well aware those trees were in the way of the path of this road. Who did the work, I'm not sure, but the trees, and it sounds like there was thousands of them, were simply taken out, and it was in a wetland. I don't believe there were permits that were needed to do this. There was nothing in place for them to do it. They just simply did it. The purpose of taking them down was for this road to be built. Like I said, those trees are gone, and it's sad, and who's ever responsible needs to accept the responsibility of it. But to go forward with putting this road there, right directly behind this mobile home court, and all of the residents around there, you just, when you're an elected official, you're supposed to do things for the people. As a resident of Jeffersonville, I'd like to think that the elected officials around us are here to basically listen to our concerns and act on the problems that we have. And the residents all around there have paid property taxes for years. They've supported our schools. They've supported our police. Why is it that their voices aren't being heard? I have to sit here and think to myself, what motivates the city to build this road? Now, anybody who's ever elected gets that way from getting votes. So if all of the voters around there are opposed to this road, why is this road being built? What is the motivation? How come the concerns of the people aren't being listened to? What more do they have to do? The meetings that I've gone to, The city has basically stated their case. The road is going to get built. There hasn't been any leeway on why this road shouldn't be built. I've not heard the city say the benefit to any of the residents back there, what the benefit to them would be. You know, I'm drawing a blank here. I don't see it. If you look at this on paper, it doesn't make sense, and yet the city keeps pushing it forward. You know, there are health issues out there that are being ignored, and nobody seems to care. And you know, nobody from the city is speaking up saying this is wrong and we need to look at this a little bit better. They're just saying, you know, by golly, we're going to build this road and there's nothing you can do about it. And you know, that's not right. That's not right. The taxes that these people have paid are basically being used against them now. You know, part of the concerns that these people have that I really haven't heard the city address too much is that, you know, in the asphalt business, construction, some of these projects that this company is going to be doing is going to require late night work. If there's a road closed somewhere that they're doing repairs on and it's on an interstate, you know, the state's going to require them to do that work on third shift, middle of the night, and you know, which is going to mean those trucks are coming in at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and you know, the more noise when these people are asleep, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be impossible to get a good night's rest out there because, you know, hundreds of trucks are going to be coming in there at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, banging their doors, you know, more things flying around. It's just, it's not going to be a good night's sleep.
So there is times that the plant runs 24 hours a day.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That's, you know, they're in business to make money, but, you know, by golly, it doesn't mean you got to ignore all the rights of everybody around you. And that's exactly what's going to happen. You know, these people aren't getting rest in the daytime. They can't go out and cut their grass without, you know, fear of whatever it is they're breathing in. At nighttime, you know, they certainly can't open their windows and let a nice cool breeze go through because of the pollution, and then you're going to put on top of it the banging of the gates on the back of the trucks, you know, at all times through the night. It's a nightmare, and somebody from the city of Jeff needs to stand up and recognize that the rights of the people out here are being abused, you know, for one company's benefit. And that's not what made Jeffersonville what it is today. We need to stand up for the people instead of standing up for a single company.
Have you been out to the Jefferson Court and witnessed, you know, what the residents go through?
I have been out there, and you know, to me, there's no way anybody can say this is a minor thing. This is something that these people are, you know, making a big deal out of. This is a big deal. And if anybody in the community has, you know, any questions about it, a simple 5-minute drive out there would demonstrate just what these people are dealing with on a daily basis. And it's something that can no longer be ignored.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Eye on Construction. If you have a story pertaining to the Indiana construction industry that you'd like to share with us, please contact us via our website.